Good morning. Welcome to MahaMTB. I am Chandrashekhar Nene. I study international affairs. Along with me is Mr. Yogesh Kumbar, who is the videographer for this video. We are bringing in this video to you a kind of reportage on the visit of India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi to the American continent. Narendra Modi had visited American continent earlier also, but it is the first time he is visiting when there has been a change of administration in America. Now the Democrat President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris are in saddle, and this is the first time when Narendra Modi has visited them person to person in America. Narendra Modi has previously also tried always to maximize his visit potential. He is after all a Gujarati. Gujarati always maximizes his investments. His visit has to be maximized. So, in one single visit, he did many sub visits, many sub meetings, and many things were achieved in one single meeting, one single visit. He visited the Vice President and President of United States. He also attended the Quad meeting in person with all the three heads of states of Quad. Then he also talked to various business heads in America for their investments into India and for the support they would lend to the Indian industry into growing its own wings. And he also made a speech in the United Nations General Assembly, which was a 22-minute speech and which is praised by the world over. This time this visit was a kind of announcement that India is a superpower. Prime Minister of a superpower is visiting on the world stage, and that is the way Prime Minister Modi conducted his whole visit. And he didn't go alone. Along with him, he had taken Mr. S. Jaishankar, the Foreign Minister, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Ajit Doval, our National Security Advisors, and various other officials who were crucial to this visit. He didn't take any single reporter who had to be taken to praise him in India. Narendra Modi has done away with this practice, which was the practice of our earlier prime ministers, who used to fill up their aircraft with all the reporters from different newspapers who will go there at government expense and then come back and write very good reports about the visit. Nothing of that sort in Narendra Modi's administration. His first visit, his first joint press conference was with Vice President Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, as you know, her mother is Tamil, original Tamil from India, and her grandfather, Mr. P.V. Gopalan, was a government officer in India, back in India. Look at the astuteness of Narendra Modi and the details to which he works out these things. The kind of gifts the Prime Minister of India is giving to the heads of state is also worth a study. To Kamala Harris, he gifted two things. One thing was a Gulabi Meenakari handicraft chess set, beautiful chess set made in Varanasi, Varanasi being Narendra Modi's own constituency, just for the, by the side I must say this. And that chess set is a very apt gift to a vice head of state, where you have to play politics all along with the world as a stage. But he gave something else also. He gave a framed certificate, framed in an elaborate handicraft wooden frame. The certificate was a eulogized document, a certificate document from the Government of India in honor of her grandfather, Mr. P.V. Gopalan. Look at the sensitiveness of this gift. Aren't you thinking that how much Kamala Harris would be happy to receive this of her grandfather from the hands of the state, Prime Minister of the State of India? Absolutely unique thing. Then Kamala Harris, in the same speech, actually denounced Pakistan with naming Pakistan as a collaborator with Taliban and the terrorist forces. This has never happened before. But there is a change in the way the administration in the United States is thinking. This was also followed up by the meeting with Joe Biden, President Joe Biden. They also in a joint communique mentioned all these things. The most important thing mentioned in this was that the sea, the international waters are sacrosanct for global trade, particularly because of the COVID problem. Global trade is at a jeopardized situation. It needs to be free and open. This was an indirect reference to China's hegemony in the South China Sea. It's a clear indication to China that this kind of things won't be tolerated. He also mentioned something more important, which is close at America's heart, that the COVID pandemic is actually claiming lots of lives in different parts of the world. Not so many in India, but definitely in America, England and the developed countries. And India is providing vaccine to many such states. So this fact also was borne out during the meeting with Joe Biden. Other things discussed in a one-on-one meeting are never disclosed in the press conferences. Joint communique, Joe Biden said that this is India-USA relations are going to a new level. Indeed, they are going to a new level. India is being treated as a superpower equal by America in this meeting. And this is a big change from whatever was happening earlier. So this is what happened with Mr. President Joe Biden. Then he had some very important meetings with different heads of businesses in America. If you see the people he met, you will understand the direction of his thought process. He met the CEO of Blackstone. Now, Blackstone, as you know, is the biggest capital funding firm in the world. They invest huge foreign capital in different countries. That is their main business, to invest and to run the investment to make it profitable. Blackstone's CEO, Mr. Schwarzman, Stephen A. Schwarzman, actually said in a press conference after the meeting that he is very happy with his investments made into India. They have been the best investments so far, and so much happy he is that the $40 billion investment which he has made is actually he is going to double the investment this year. He is going to put $40 billion more. This is a message to other venture capitalists, other fund managers, that the destination for investment is India. Particularly after the Evergrande disaster in China, the investment flow is being redirected from China to India. In such a circumstances, Blackstone CEO's certification is very important. Then he also met the CEO of Adobe, a software company whose product PDF formats we all use, Mr. Shantanu Narayanan, and he is again a person of Indian origin. We discussed about the software development issues there, how India can benefit more, India can help US more into software development. Then he met a very important person, Dr. Vivek Lal, who is the CEO of General Atomics. General Atomics is a company which is engaged into cutting edge research and product manufacture into defense and nuclear energy sides. So cutting edge that they are actually the biggest drone providers for American military. Now, why did Narendra Modi meet Dr. Vivek Lal? Vivek Lal also afterwards in the press conference mentioned very happy he was to meet with Mr. Narendra Modi. India is looking at establishing a drone manufacturing center in India. We are not now content by importing arms ourselves. We want to make the arms. We probably also want to export the arms, and drones are the next level of defense and attack which India is going to employ to make sure that no further incidents of Abhinandan type take place. No pilots are at risk. Drones, as you know, are the aircraft which are pilotless and which are used to bomb the enemy territory. So India is going to be a manufacturer of sophisticated drones. Dr. Vivek Lal is actually going to help us into doing that. Then he also made the CEO of First Solar, a very large company manufacturing solar power equipment, Mr. Mark Widmar. Again, the intention is to make India the solar power capital of the world. As it is, India is the biggest solar power generator in Asia, but now we want to attain the number one place in the world also. Again, First Solar will be able to help us into this technology sector. Lastly, he also made the president and CEO, Mr. Cristiano Amon, of Qualcomm. Qualcomm, as you know, is the manufacturer of sophisticated telecom chips which all of our phones carry. All our phones are based on Qualcomm chips. And now 5G is round the corner, and earlier 5G was being distributed by Huawei, but this time Huawei has been disqualified by America, England, even India. We are disqualified Huawei. We are completely tying up with Qualcomm. Reliance is also tied up with Qualcomm. This important meeting was very much necessary to get the best support which Qualcomm gives to Indian 5G users, because the number of users in India far exceeds the number of users in even America. So this is a business sense as well as the cutting edge technology for our people. After these commercial meetings, then he went on to do the Quad meeting. In Quad meeting, he met with Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison, President Joe Biden, who chaired the meeting, and Japan's Prime Minister, and Narendra Modi himself. So all the four countries joined together. Two things were stressed during the Quad meeting. One is the sacrosanct nature of the South China Sea and freedom of navigation operations into South China Sea, which means we are going to guard the South China Sea with the joint navies of all these states. So that was an important meeting in which Narendra Modi took part. And lastly, Narendra Modi gave In the Quad meeting also, Narendra Modi said that India intends to manufacture 1 billion vaccines to give to all the friends and all the needy countries of Quad and other nearby neighbors. That's a very important announcement. He actually repeated that announcement when he gave the great speech, a 22-minute speech in the United Nations General Assembly. During that speech, he stressed on many factors. One is of course COVID, second is the terrorism factor. He said that some states, like, he didn't mention the state's name, but everybody knows it was referring to Pakistan. Some states are using terrorism as a tool of politics, which is completely wrong, which has to be prevented by United Nations at all times. And lastly, he also mentioned that Afghan soil should not be underlined, should not be used for terrorist purposes, and this is all in agreement with all the freedom loving nations of the world. This is what Narendra Modi, as a superpower Prime Minister, projected India's superpower and the 140 crore people which we have to go 1.4 billion people, the superpower projection in United Nations and the world stage. This was very important. I am going to make more videos on this subject because it's a very detailed subject, not easy to cover in single video. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like this video, please share it with friends and relations. Please subscribe to our channel. If you are not pressed till now, please press the bell icon so that our new videos are intimated to you as soon as they appear online. Thank you very much.